For the longest time, AI was this thing humming away in the background, running supply chains, crunching data. But that's all changing. Now it's stepping right into the spotlight. Today, we're going to talk about how AI is becoming the experience itself, the text, the voice, even the face of a brand. Let's get into how this back-end tool is transforming into your brand's digital twin.
So, let me ask you this. Think about the last time you chatted with a bot or used a voice assistant. Did it feel special, or did it have that same old kind of generic robotic vibe? That's the huge problem brands are facing right now. When everything is powered by AI, how do you make your brand feel like your brand and not just another machine?
And here's a number that really drives this home. A survey by Phrasee found that only 24% of marketers, just 24, are actually testing their brand's language to see if it's connecting with people. Just think about that for a second. That means 3/4 of brands are basically just guessing, hoping their voice is working when it might just be adding to all the noise.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the problem, what I'm calling the sea of sameness. Then, we're going to build our brand's digital avatar piece by piece. We'll start with its mind, then give it a voice, and finally, a body. And to wrap it all up, we'll get into the really big question. Once you've made this thing, who actually owns it?
You know, most companies pour a ton of effort into building a unique brand personality. But here's the catch. It's not about having a voice. It's about scaling it. In a world with a million different channels and touchpoints, keeping that voice consistent everywhere is, well, it's really, really hard. And that gap, that's a huge missed opportunity to connect with your audience.
And this is where it gets super interesting. A massive 91% of marketers are confident that their brand has a distinct voice. But like we just saw, almost none of them are testing it. There's this huge gap between what brands think they sound like and what customers actually hear. And that gap is exactly where generic AI takes over and brand personality just disappears.
Okay, so how do we fix this? To escape that sea of sameness, the very first step is to give our AI a mind. This is the foundation. It's about teaching the AI not just to process information, but to think, and most importantly, to write with the unique personality and flair that makes your brand, well, your brand.
Now, it's absolutely crucial to get the difference between voice and tone. Think of it this way. Your brand's voice is its core personality. It's always the same. But your tone, that's its mood, and it has to change depending on the situation. You wouldn't talk to a customer who's upset with the same tone you'd use to announce a new product, right? A truly smart AI has to master both. And this example from Dollar Shave Club just nails it. A generic AI gives you that boring, forgettable description on the left. But Dollar Shave Club, they inject their bold, kind of cheeky personality into every single word. It's hilarious, it's memorable, and it creates an instant connection. That is what we mean by crafting an AI's mind.
Okay, so our AI can write like us. That's a huge step. The next piece of the puzzle is making it sound like us. So we're moving from the mind to the voice, diving into the incredible world of sonnet branding to add another layer of unique identity.
You know, it used to be that having a custom sound like the Intel chime or the Netflix ta-dum was something only mega corporations could afford. But AI is totally changing the game. By training models on millions of audio files, pretty much any brand can now generate its own unique music, sound logos, and voiceovers that fit their vibe perfectly.
And the things AI can do with audio are just exploding. It can clone a voice from just a tiny audio clip. It can generate speech in tons of different languages. It can create personalized audio ads on the fly for every single listener. It can even compose brand new music from scratch. It's basically a complete toolkit for building a sound identity.
But let's be real for a second about where the tech is at right now. I love this quote from a Reddit user talking about the tool ElevenLabs. It sums things up perfectly. The power is absolutely there. It's incredible. But actually using it, it can still feel a bit clumsy. It just goes to show we're in the very powerful but still very early days of this whole thing. So we've built the mind, we've found the voice, now it's time for the final layer, the body. This is where we give our AI a visual form, creating a character or even a full-on digital twin that can actually interact with people on screen.
So how do you create thousands of visual options without hiring a whole army of artists? The secret is something called procedural generation. It's a really cool algorithmic approach where instead of designing every single character, you just define a set of rules and a library of parts, and then you let the computer do all the heavy lifting of putting them together.
The process itself is surprisingly simple. First, you create all the building blocks, the different body shapes, eyes, accessories, whatever. Second, the algorithm puts them together like digital Legos following the rules you set. And third, it can start to mix, match, and mutate those creations to generate a basically infinite variety of unique characters.
Now you can take this same idea and push it towards something way more realistic, a digital twin. This is a nearly perfect digital copy of a real person. And companies like Synthesia and HeyGen are leading the charge here, making these hyper-realistic avatars for everything from corporate training videos to personalized marketing messages.
And the secret to making these avatars look so real isn't just about getting the lip sync right. It's about all the tiny subconscious things humans do. These platforms study and copy the little details, the way our eyes dart around when we talk, our natural blinking rhythm, the subtle shifts in our expressions to make the final result truly believable.
And that believability brings us to the most complicated and, frankly, the most critical part of this conversation. Once you create a perfect digital replica of a person, their mind, their voice, their body, who's in control? Who owns it?
This is not a sci-fi question anymore. This is happening right now. If a company makes a digital twin of an employee or an actor, who has the rights to that digital person? Can they use it for anything? Can they sell it? We are drawing these legal and ethical lines as we go. And legal experts like Professor Jennifer Rothman have a really strong opinion on this. They argue that your identity is not like other intellectual property. You can sell the copyright to a song, sure, but the rights to your own face, your own voice, that should stay with you. It shouldn't be something you can sell off.
So, what kind of guardrails do we have? Well, there's something called the right of publicity, and new laws for digital replica rights are being worked on specifically for AI. But really, it all boils down to two very important things: consent and contracts. You have to get crystal clear permission to create an avatar, and you need ironclad rules about how it can and can't be used.
The good news here is that the industry is taking this stuff really seriously. The big platforms aren't just waiting for the government to tell them what to do. They are proactively building in trust and safety protocols, getting top-tier security certifications to show that they are handling this technology responsibly. And all of this brings us to one final thought. We started out talking about the problem of the generic boring bot, but we've just walked through how you can give an AI a mind that writes like your brand, a voice that sounds like your brand, and a body that looks like your brand. So if an AI can perfectly mirror a brand's personality in every single way, at what point do we stop seeing it as a bot and start seeing it as the brand itself? Definitely something to think about.